So I watched the trailer for Powerpuff, and let me just say, it's everything I could have imagined it to be.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
This has gotta be the biggest pile of crap I've ever seen, and I've watched Velma. This is worse than that and Riverdale combined. For those of you who don't know, a while back, Warner Brothers, or Warner Media at the time, had decided to make a live-action Powerpuff Girls show. Now you're probably thinking, that's a terrible idea, and wasn't Cartoon Network done making live-action shows? And you would be right, because this adaptation was a CW show.
Blossom was constantly stressed.
Wait, is it daylight savings?
Buttercup was constantly rebellious.
I'm not wearing that dress anymore. It's gender normative and ass ugly.
And Bubbles was constantly drinking.
Now, thankfully, this show fell apart after the script got leaked. Rumors were they planned to reshoot the plot with an updated script, but once Chloe Bennett, who was gonna play Blossom, dropped out of the project, it became DOA. I thought we would never see what atrocities they put together, but somehow the trailer leaked. Years later, even though I saw all the promotional artwork and set photos, I never wanted to believe it because this was a childhood staple. There's no way a major studio would make something like this, but they did. Instead of making competent characters, they made them mentally unwell, promiscuous girls with daddy issues who happen to be drug addicts and murderers. So basically Tumblr if it was a show. You can tell the people or person behind the show hates life and don't respect these characters. Imagine making a live action adaptation of a beloved cartoon and somehow coming out the least mature of the two. No one asked for this. When I think about animation, for the most part, it should never cross over to live action. There are some exceptions that it just makes sense for them to have that opportunity just because they're a larger franchise, or it just makes sense for these characters to be in that environment. But for Powerpuff, it just doesn't make much sense to me. I think it should always be animated. It doesn't make any sense for them to be live action. And if anyone asked for an older version of these characters, I'm pretty confident they would have asked for an animated follow-up of the original series. Something like Totally Spies, which is still ongoing for some reason. It's very much obvious that people are hungry for Powerpuff since every time this project comes up, it trends online. So let's hope Craig McCracken can come up with something to help us forget this project.